Hi, everybody. Stephanie here. I'm known as watercolor artiste in online social media circles, and I am the artist of midlifeartist.com. And I'd like to welcome you to my live stream where I pretty much do this to keep myself accountable to make sure I'm painting every week. Sometimes all I get is Wednesday nights, and sometimes I get more. But at least I have Wednesday nights, and I like to have friends join and watch and chat. And so it's very casual. So if you're in your PJs, congratulations, enjoy and relax. Join the chat on Rumble or YouTube. And I'd like to welcome you and thank you for joining me. I'd like to, if you've been following me on Wednesday nights, then you know the last couple I've been working on a painting of Nancy Wake, the World War II heroine. If you don't know about her, it's a darn shame because she should be taught in history classes. I never knew about her until recently, and so I decided I would be painting her as part of my lesser known historical figures series, or lesser known heroes, if you will. And so I'm going to try to play a YouTube clip on my live stream, something I've never done before. I'm hoping it'll come through. I'm going to get ready to play it here in just a second. I hope it works. My husband's agreed to be my um, guinea pig and let me know if it's coming through or not in terms of audio. And I can only play about 60 60 seconds or so. I don't want to run into any copyright issues or anything like that. Um, but just to see the real live person. This is from 1987 that she was interviewed. She lived into her 90s. And so I'll tell more about her in a minute, but I thought it'd be cool so you guys can see one of her late in life interviews. So let me see if I can do this. I may have to mute my mic. I don't know. So here we go.
Why did she let our menfolk be killed? So she had to be eliminated. I remember seeing some of the dreadful things that the Germans did. And when people today say that the Germans were not as guilty as they made out to be, this is a lie. Some Germans were ruthless. I can remember a German officer ordering his corporal to bayonet a French woman who was tied to a post in this village, who was 7 months pregnant, and he crisscrossed her stomach, and her little 2-year-old daughter was crying by her side. They wouldn't let the villagers bury this woman. She was left there for 24 hours. The flies, can you imagine it? I saw that. They were animals, animals. I remember what they did to the Jews in Berlin and in Vienna. And I'm not Jewish, so it wouldn't worry me, would it? But they were human beings. I just couldn't imagine that human...
Okay. I hope that came through. I can't hear it when I play it, but I think it comes through on the live stream. So I just wanted to share a little bit of who she was, at least late in life. That again was a 1987 interview, and so she was known as the White Mouse. She she was refused. She went to work, she wanted to fight on the front lines, but being a woman, she was denied. So she ended up being more into the espionage and the like. And she was so good at what she did that the Gestapo put a 5 million franc um, bounty on her head, and she was never caught. Unfortunately, um, she had to leave France for another front or another area for the war, and her husband stayed behind because she was married. And the husband was caught by the Gestapo, tortured, and executed. So while she was never caught, she did suffer um, from persecution because she lost her husband. But she she made differences in the war front for the Allies. So she's worthy of a search, a little history lesson, and I felt she was worthy to put on canvas. So I would like to just let you know about that so you can look her up later. I'm just going to check my chat windows to see how everyone is. Hi, Kim. How are you? Hi, Frosty. That's over on my Rumble chat. Welcome aboard. Good to see you. Um, and then I got Crazy Bear over on YouTube in case someone shows up there. Uh, love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting me. I appreciate it very much. Um, let me just see what else I got here. Oh, yeah. So I did my Nancy Wake audio video thing and it worked. Yay. And then also, I wanted to let you all know that I'll be dropping a new video tomorrow on my YouTube and Rumble channels. It's going to be my progression video on my dancers painting, the one that I have decided to entitle Rehearsal um, at Dusk. And so I had taken time lapse video from when I started the canvas, like from the white canvas, and I got the background laid in. I had taken a bunch of time lapse video for that, but I haven't shared it because one, I didn't know how at the time, but I kept it. And I was able to get it spliced together, I guess, as they would say. And then I did, of course, my photographic stills that, of course, I take that I share with the group. And I got that in order. It's about a 7-minute video, but you'll see how the painting came together from start to finish. So that's going to be dropping tomorrow. I'm not sure what time, probably between the 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. hour. So be looking for that. I like to show progression. I always find it fascinating how someone gets from the start to the finish on a piece of artwork. I'm not sure if you guys feel the same way, but I find it fascinating. So I enjoy watching those myself. So that's dropping tomorrow, Friday. No, Friday. I keep saying tomorrow like today is Thursday, but it's not. It's Wednesday. How disappointed I will be tomorrow morning when I realize it's only Thursday morning and not Friday morning. Don't you hate that? uh, I do. Oh my goodness. But anyway, I'm going to get started. I know that one, the President of the United States is scheduled to start a speech at 9 o'clock tonight. He didn't check with me on whether he should be doing that because usually my live stream goes to 9:30. The other thing we know about President Trump's announcements and pronouncements is they almost always never start on time. So I'm not going to worry about um, stopping my live stream at 9. I'm going to go to 9:30. And if you feel compelled to go and watch the president, by all means do so. I'm sure whatever he's got to say is important for the country. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing it. So, but if you want to stay with me, great. I'm going to go to 9:30 and we'll see what happens from there. So I'm hoping it's nothing too bad going on. You know, we don't need it. We got enough stuff going on in the world today. And just this last week, we've had enough heartache, and we can't let that destroy the reason for the season in this holiday season, this Christmas season, and those who are celebrating Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah to you. May you stay safe while you freely worship God in your holiday tradition of Hanukkah. And Merry Christmas to those who celebrate Christmas. So next week, next Wednesday is Christmas Eve. I am debating on doing a live stream, and if I do, it's going to be a shortened version. The reason I'm considering it because it's Christmas Eve, and most people are with their families. Chances of people watching slim. I don't know, but there are people who don't have family, who don't, you know, sadly can get together with anyone. And my youngest son's going to be down here in Georgia visiting with me. And I've asked if he would be willing to do a short live stream with me next week. He is somewhat willing. He's not sure about drawing with me, although he is getting active in drawing. He's just not confident. Um, and so we may just do doodling next week, nothing fancy here. So if we do it, I will launch a preemptive announcement the day before, and you can feel free to join us at 8 o'clock next week if we do it. And it'll be a shortened live stream, casual. It's not about my painting. You might be doodling. You can doodle along with us. Maybe we can pick a community picture and we can all draw or paint it, whatever we want to do, and see where it goes. So I'm mulling it over. Nothing's decided yet. So just keep that on, save the date kind of thing. But anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. Let me check my chats because I don't have them up at the moment. Hey, Art of Zen, hello. Welcome to the chat. Hello. Uh, okay. Thank you, Crazy Bear, for telling me about the video. And he's over on YouTube. But, honey, I don't see anyone else on the YouTube chat. So if you want to go over to Rumble and play with the other Rumblers on Rumble chat, I wouldn't blame you. But anyway, okay. So what do I got here going on? I don't have the chats up constantly, so I check them. So if you've got a chat, I'll see it when I'm checking it. So just so you know. Okay, so I've got the camcorder. I do have, Frosty will be pleased to know, that I have palette cam. Is it working? Please tell me it's working. Are you serious? I don't know why it's not working. You can't see my hand. Well, shoot. I did have palette cam and it shows it's live. Oops. Oh, there we go. Okay. It's just I've got an old mobile phone that um, is very slow, and that's what I'm using. Can you guys hear me okay? I noticed that the mic on that phone was working, and I didn't know if that reverberated. Okay, see here. Yes, I'm going to let you out of your room, Crazy Bear. Okay. All right, there it is. All right, so yeah, we've got it. Excuse me. Okay, so yes, I have palette cam. So let me see about getting this arranged. I did work on this a little bit more since last week. I'm going to turn it so you guys can see it and get my camera angled correctly. We'll get this going. Let's see, how does that look? How does that look? Can you see it okay? Yeah, somewhat. All right, I just got to be careful not to hit the easel. But yeah, you can see I worked on the map behind her. I also worked on this a little bit more. I kind of defined these um, light posts that are reflecting in the window. I started working on her hand and arm, but as I was doing it, I noticed that it was expanding. It's gotten a little bigger. Her head looks a little smaller, and that's only because some of her hair has been painted over. So her head looks smaller, but it's not. It's just her hair has been painted over temporarily. I'm going to get that fixed, obviously. Then I worked on the brick a little bit. I got some brick defined behind her because it's in line with the brick that's at the edge there. So yeah, I've got a lot of work to do. I thought last week that maybe I was halfway there, but I don't think I am. So anywho, we're gonna work wherever I feel like working. And I'm not sure exactly where that is. Where do you guys think I should work? Maybe the face, or should I work more on this pack? If you want to see, I will put palette cam back on. And here is my reference photo. Oops. So I've got this that I can do and get that more defined. I do have to get that arm better defined. So there's plenty of work to be done. I'm going to check my chats to see what y'all think. Let's see here. Sound is good. Okay, good. I'll leave my YouTube chat open but minimized for now. I'll just check it every now and then. It's nice to see everybody in the chat on Rumble. So thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. I hope everyone's doing okay. How is everybody? Is everyone ready for Christmas next week? Anyone doing anything special? Anyone traveling? Anything like that? As you know, my youngest son, Nicholas, is going to be coming. And so it'd be kind of neat to do a live stream with him next week. But if he's really uncomfortable with it, we may not do it. But he's got his own YouTube channel, and I don't think he's all that shy. I think he's just uncomfortable doing artwork, and he doesn't have to if he doesn't want to. But he's teaching himself how to draw with pen and ink right now. So yeah. All right, let's see here what we got. I need to put some more white down. She's looking pasty. I'm going to try to put some color into her without losing value, but I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that. We'll see. We will see what we will see. But you can see I was using these colors. I had this, let me see if I can bring this down a little bit so you can see a little bit. Come on now. There's this very light seafoam green, which I used on the map up here. And then obviously browns and reds for the brickwork. And I started working on this background a little bit, which you can't see very much of right now. But you can see the background has some defined shapes. But I need to narrow her arm a little bit and her hand. I think her hand isn't as angled as it should be. So I do need a little work on there. Got the sign up there going. Let's see here. What do I got? I need to get some burnt sienna. I got burnt sienna already down. We'll do trans yellow oxide. It's a good color. This is a good color to have if your colors are too bright, too chromated, and you need to bring it down a notch so it's not so bright without losing. It's one of those transparent yellow oxide. It's not bad. I also have another transparent color. Forget what that one is. I got trans red oxide. That helps too, but it's a darker color obviously than the yellow. I'm not going to lay that down just yet. And I do have yellow ochre. This is Winsor and Newton. That's what I have started. So to make that seafoam blue green, I used white and I used cobalt teal. And then I added a little bit of the trans yellow oxide as well. Let's see here. I'll leave some of I got ultramarine blue. I don't know when I might need that, but I usually end up needing that. Oh my goodness. So art is in your wife's working, huh? But at least she's going to get paid well. But that's a bummer. What does she do, if you don't mind my asking? Oh, yeah. You being up there in Maine, Frosty, you got the storms coming. 80 on Christmas. Oh, that's right, you're down in Texas. Pallet cam activated. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, there we go. I can see it better there. But yeah. Okay. What do I got? Let's see. I don't know what I want to do. Let's see. We will get some beige going for the front of her parachute pack. I got some um, burnt umber deep. Is that what that one is? Where is it? Ah, burnt umber deep. Yes. Yep. That's pretty. It's pretty brown and dark for a reason, but now you see how it's more of a gray. I'm going to take the trans yellow oxide and mix that in, see what it gives me. A grayish beige. Sure, I like that. Because that's not what I don't want to go gray. So we will add a little bit, see what this, I want to get some values in this. So if I get a nice medium tone, get some of this yellow in there. Yellow ochre, still too gray. Still too gray, I think. It might not be though. When I look at this picture, there is a lot of gray here. I wonder what that would look like. Well, I might as well just go ahead and paint it on and see what happens, right, guys? Band of Brothers. That came out a while ago. I remember when it came out, Band of Brothers. It was quite a series, and actually, um, well done. I haven't seen it since the first time that I watched it, uh, but definitely intense war series. Sorry about the noise. I'm getting a little um, cup to put some medium in. These little condiment cups are great because then you can take the little cover and cover it up and use it again. So I am going to get some Galcade in here. Ah, Kim, you're in Tennessee, right? I wonder how far away in Tennessee you are from us in Northwest Georgia. What part of Tennessee? Are you east or west? Or are you central? Where are you at? If you don't mind saying. I haven't even gotten a brush out, guys. Oh my goodness. I've got an array of brushes. Of course, I have to have my filberts. Maybe I will use an angled brush too for some detail. Why not? I don't use those as often. Let's see. Small one. All right. You watch it at Christmas every time. You know what I watch every year at Christmas? I watch um, Elf. I watch Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. I watch, sometimes I watch Die Hard. I watch, sometimes I watch Scrooge, but I have to really be in the mood for that, which isn't often. Uh, what else? What else do we watch? Oh, yes, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's absolutely correct. We watched that the other day because, you got to have comedy. You got to laugh. Got to laugh. Okay, let's see what I'm going to do. I guess I'm going to start here and see what this color brings me. Emmett Otter. Yeah. Yeah, I grew up watching that as a kid, so it is definitely a favorite of mine. Of course, I also watched Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I also watched Frosty the Snowman. Um, I'm going to stand up because I can't see with the glare. So, you know, this grayish color is very neutral and very mid-tone. So, I wonder if doing this. You guys seeing this? All right. Just making sure my camera angles are okay. This is a brighter spot, brighter strap than some of this other stuff. And then there's some brighter strapping over here. Um, I probably travel through your area, Kim. When I do travel up to New Hampshire, I drive. Um, I probably travel up that way, not knowing I'm coming by your place anywhere. But I travel up through Knoxville and then upwards to Bristol when I come through. Bristol, Tennessee into Bristol, Virginia. So that's what I do when I'm traveling. It is oh yeah, Yukon Jack, Frosty. What's the one where uh oh, Jack Frost, the father that plays hockey with his son and he ends up crashing and passing away and he comes back as a snowman. uh that's a heartwarming, fanciful one as well. Frost. I try not to watch anything that makes me cry because, well, I just don't like crying in front of people. So I try not to watch that. I like this yellow in here because it's not. I know I said that I want this to be very neutral and then just very few punches of color, but I am definitely a color girl. I like color. This is definitely out of my wheelhouse. Bristol from Hour and 81 off. Huh. Yeah, no, that's where I travel, Kim. I travel that way because that's a straight line up to Virginia, which I travel obviously through to go. Um, that direction. Yeah. There's a, sorry, I kind of went quiet then. I was focusing. We were talking about this from Lady Hamilton's live stream the other night, where, you know, trying to paint and live stream and talk all at the same time. You might as well be chewing gum, standing on one foot, and rubbing your head and your belly, right? Yeah, not an easy prospect. Not an easy prospect to do that. This has definitely a bright. You can see I'm holding my brush this way. I'm getting some brights going there. That's for sure. Is anyone else painting tonight, or is it just me? Or I know last week you were painting, Frosty. Are you painting again tonight? Kim, you? Oh no. Okay. Sorry about that, Kim. I do like this yellow a little bit better than just drab green. Yes, too dark. Okay. I painted late into the night or early morning this morning. Ah, yeah, I worked on this last night, so some of this is still wet. Did I do this right, or am I going wrong? I am going wrong. Should be down here. That's where the arm comes. This is still label. That's all right. It's all right. All right. It's already bright. I need to. I'm trying to figure out where I want to paint next. Can you tell? Let's see here. This has probably got too much medium. It's very, very loose painting. Let's see here. You can't get out of the recliner, Frosty. Why is that? Is it you got canine or feline paralysis? I find that makes a good excuse for when someone doesn't want to do anything. But it's a great excuse for me to ask my husband to get my drink refilled. And he's very good about it because he knows. He already knows. My nose is itching, but if I if I rub it with my hands, I'm gonna get it all over my. All right, I think I'm gonna come in with some darks on this backpack. So far, the palette cam is not freezing up too much, thankfully. Appreciate that, Mr. Palette Cam. Thank you very much. Let's see. I've got an angle brush. I wonder if that'll help me with some detail. Let's see what happens. I don't usually use an angle brush, but let's jump out of our comfort zone and give it a shot. What do you say? This is my fast drying medium, my Galkid. This is definitely dark here. I'm coming up too high on that. I'm up too high. I know that I think I am using black. I don't mean to. I thought that was my dark brown, but it is not. It is black, and I didn't mean to use black. That'll teach me. I am using a smaller palette tonight than I usually use. Yeah. This is definitely in the shadow of her arm. So that's why we want to get that shadow in. Let's see here. Well, what'd you have for dinner, Frosty? Maybe I shouldn't ask. I might get jealous. It was cold down here in the south, for sure. We got down into the teens at the beginning of the week. It was Monday, wasn't it, Ron? Monday. We had we have Dale. He's our feral kitty catty's mama cat's son, and we kept him in the garage because he's feral. Um, we kept him in the garage all day on Monday. Monday was the day it was super cold, because he definitely needed protection from the elements. We care for him. He's a good boy. He's just feral. We can't bring him in. He and Jackpot would not get along, and we've had Jackpot longer, so we take the best we can, the best care we can for him. Oh, that's right. We got the game coming up this Saturday. You guys, Ron's got a beta test game coming up Saturday. It's our Christmas one we do, and I actually do a lot of cooking. which reminds me, I wanted to share with you. I even have it in here. Let me show you guys real quick, since palette cam is working. But I've got, oops, bring it down. Dungeons and Dragons Heroes Feast Cookbook. I'm actually going to be cooking out of this cookbook. I'm going to be making, what am I going to be making in here? Not the ribs. I'm going to be making this reghead venison pot roast. It looks pretty good with potatoes and carrots and stuff. I'm cooking for about 11 adults. So I got a lot of cooking to do. I'll start that Friday. I got a shop tomorrow. But yeah, it's a great little trying to find. They got elven bread, which is essentially a cinnamon roll bread. Let's see here. Oh, dude. That's a good one. The Moonshay seafood rice. That's got shrimp and scallops and arboreal rice in it. Although I'm not making that for Saturday. Let's see. Where is it? I was thinking about bangers and mash. I've made these meatballs. They're called the Delzoon Tide Me Overs. Those were a huge hit, and I'd like to make them again, but they're a little involved. I'm trying to find somewhat easier ones to do, but make them authentic. And there's dwarven flatbread. Just thinking about having a bread, having a main meal, having a side dish. I've made this black pudding before. It's called black pudding. It's got espresso powder, light brown sugar, Dutch processed cocoa powder, coffee liqueur. It's all good stuff. But yeah, so I'm making all kinds of stuff in here. Like I said, oh yeah, I thought about doing this, but I don't know if it'll make it past the kitchen. It's a orc bacon. You can't see it very well, but it's um, thick cut bacon, light brown sugar, black pepper, garlic powder, orange juice. Kind of sweetens the bacon. Yum, right? Bacon. I love bacon. But yeah. Oh, and butterscotch, Barovian butterscotch pudding. Instead of making the black pudding, I thought maybe I'd make this butterscotch pudding from scratch. So yeah, and then they got some meads and some drinks and stuff. But I also do not for Saturday, but I do from the Elder Scrolls cookbook. I've cooked from this a lot. Um, so they're great cookbooks, very well made, beautiful, great pictures, things like that. Of course, I'm not painting if I'm talking about cooking, but yeah, I cook. People tend to come because I cook as well as the game. So yeah, there we go. Comes down. But yeah, so it should be interesting on Saturday for sure. I got glare happening. I got glare right here. Hard to see. Oh. So yeah, I'll be going grocery shopping tomorrow because I get paid tomorrow. So I'll have money in the account. Slim pickings lately. But yeah, go and get all the ingredients I need. I like to cook. I like to feed people. Um, I mean, I'm not a chef. Certainly not like um, Lady Hamilton. She's a chef. Me, not so much. I cook. I follow the directions, or I try anyway, um, and see where it lands me. Yes, they are. Groceries haven't come down at all. I mean, eggs have. Of course, I'm not having to buy eggs too much because we got family that has chickens, and I get my eggs mostly from family, thank goodness. I'm so grateful for that too. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I'm sticking to ground hamburger and chuck roast. Those aren't bad, in terms of pricing for meats, because I really do like to try to cook meats. Um, I don't really like to do um, a lot of starches, although I am addicted to breads. You could probably I could probably live off of bread and water if left to my own devices, so to speak. You know what I mean? Um, and that's not a healthy thing to do. So I don't, but I can be cranky when I don't have the things I want. So yeah, how's that looking? It's gotten a little bit more character on the strapping, huh? That's true, artisan. It's like $100 and you got two small bags. My husband, he would tell you about it. He could probably tell you better than I could. And he's in the chat, so he might want to. But growing up, how he knew dinner was ready apparently was when the smoke alarms went off. Now, that's not my cooking. I'm just saying. But yeah, my mom was an experimenter. She would experiment cooking. Um, so she would try if she heard of a recipe, she would do the recipe, but then she would cook it in a different pan than what the recipe would call for. And there were times where her experiments were a little a little much, but yeah. But it makes for a fond childhood. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. This has got a lot of dark tones on the side because it's in shadow. Um, yeah, carbon's good for you. He doesn't have to say that in my kitchen most days. As long as I'm paying attention, I'm doing all right. Same with me, Artisan. When it comes to food's bad for you, that's me. I if it's bad for you, I want it, you know. And I grew up with a sweet tooth mom, so her habits became my habits, which of course then translated to my sons, who now have my bad habit. And so yeah, that's I do regret that they got my bad habits. But it's hard. It's hard when you grow up that way to buck the trend. You know what I mean? Maybe I need to work on her hand some. Let's see here. I'm gonna do some mixing. Let's see. We'll get this yellow, some of this yellow ochre, some of this black. Let's see here. A little bit of this blue, because I need a green tinge for this background, greenish gray, which is what it has to be, I guess. Mm. I'm so glad the palette cam's working tonight. Last week I was so frustrated. I couldn't figure out why it would keep zoning out. Let's see here. I'm going to use my angle brush to bring in this arm a little bit so it's not so fat. And maybe bring in some knuckles, you know, reshape this hand a little bit. So yeah, gonna be a little work on the arm a little bit. Try to get it back into a smaller shape because it's gotten a little too big. I have a feeling that this is still a little too light. Let's see what happens when I do this. What happens when I do this? Let's see. I got glare, so that's part of my problem. Can't see what I'm doing. Run this in the background so it's not just there we go. Yeah, stop talking again. Sorry about that, guys. Even that is better than what it was. That's not bad. Make some shapes that make sense in this background. That was painted last night, so it's a little wet still. All right, let's see what I can do with the other side of the arm. Add a little bit more of that ultramarine blue into this murky greenish. Let's see here. You guys see that? Of course, I got glare. Okay. Oh my gosh, dark chocolate roasted coffee beans. Oh my goodness. My favorite snacks are sweet related. Surprise! Um, so they're automatically bad for me. I shouldn't have them, and I do it anyway. Oops, I got. Where? Let's see here. Let's get that right there. I'm going to try to zoom this in so you can see it a little better since I'm there. Now you can see better, huh? All right. Adding again some more ultramarine to this army green dark. Let's see here. Okay. That comes down. That comes down. Yeah. And that comes down. And this comes around. This angle brush is doing pretty good. If you don't use an angle brush, it's good that it gives you swaths of paintbrush, but it gives you a chisel edge so you can get some fine line without having to draw it. You just drag it um, down the edge, and it does the work for you without you having to have a steady hand. But if you don't use an angle brush like that, give it a shot. Let's see here. Again, I'm covering some of this area again because I've got glare, heavy glare that I'm struggling with. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find time to work on this some more because I want to be starting on another painting for the next non-holiday um, live stream. You know what I mean? Because next week, like I said, next week I'm probably going to try to do something with my son, and it's not going to be working on this. It'll be just some sort of fun doodle, maybe with pen and ink, or I don't know. Thank you, Kim. I'm not sure if I feel that way right now, but I am trying. I'm trying. I think that looks better, even still. Let's try to get that. Even just the little adjustment that I have here, I think really helps make a difference with this arm. Yeah, I'm not really worried. Right now, this is too wet up here. So I will work on that at another time, I think. Let's see here. Yeah, this is still wet on wet alla prima. And so it's blending more than I'm getting a stark contrast. But this angle brush is not too bad. Not too bad. I think I'm gonna check my time here and keep us on task. Hey, maybe I should work a little bit on the face in the hair. What do you think? Get that developed a little bit. I think I will back this up so we can see it. Oop, didn't mean to grab that one. Not the angle brush. I see that that hand is still a little fat from the looks of it. Is it? Seems a little fat. That looks better. Is the map going over her shoulder? Yes. Yes, it is. I'll show that to you here in just a second. I'll adjust. So yeah, here's the map. Got some of these light sea foam green areas. And then of course it gets a little darker up top. So yeah, and then of course I gotta make map markings so it looks like a map, and then I gotta put the X's where she struck, you know. But yeah. I think I'm avoiding this area because I feel like it's all a mess. Although it's probably one of the easier things to do. And I love faces. I love doing faces. I love doing portraits. You guys can tell because I tend to do those, as you well know, if you've been following along, if you've seen my interviews with Miss Lady Hamilton. Um, I like I like trying to capture an emotion, a person's face, the eyes, something. Not just your standard, run of the mill. Let's see, I need to probably do some mixing. I want to try to get some more color in the face so it's not as chalky. Let's see here. I'm going to adjust my camera up a little bit. And then when I zoom in, it should zoom in closer to her face and the map. Let's see if that works. Let's see. Okay. Still wants to go over to the side, but that's all right. Yeah, I don't have a producer. So this is all manual stuff, doing all that. Let's see here. So yeah, I got too much gray here. I'm going to use that for these two colors are for the bag in the front. Let's see, I need to get some yellow in here. Yellow, ochre, and white. Give it some warmth to it, even though it's not really a warm tone of a source picture. Doesn't mean I have to follow that. It means I can do what I want, right? That's what us artists do. We can we can change it up. Let's see. Let's see what I can do with this. I'm using another angle brush, but this one's a little smaller. I'm going to repaint um, the hair when it comes time. I'm kind of redoing her face a little bit, getting it in right places. So yeah, I'm kind of repainting. I've learned not to be scared of repainting. So yeah, while it looks like I'm totally obliterating this, um, I'm not worried. So, yeah. And I'm doing a little bit of scumbling. Kind of give a blending effect. I'm painting with the side of the brush rather than brushing across the canvas. So yeah, I know this is kind of looking a little wonky, but like I said, it'll get better. I feel like everything is in the right spot. And I may have Ron do a palette check on some of this to make sure I'm getting the values right. Because I think some of this is too bright in one aspect. Some of it's probably too dark in another. Oh. Hey, JJ. Thanks, JJ. Appreciate it. Faces are your least favorite, huh? Well, we all have our we all have our favorites. As you can tell, I don't do a lot of landscapes. And I don't know, I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if I don't think that I am scared to do them per se, but I just don't think I found a landscape that is inspiring enough for me to go, hey, I should paint that. You know, I just haven't gotten there. Not that I don't. I mean, I love nature, and I love walking out in it and stuff like that. And I don't know. Um, I just think that I haven't found the right thing, and I am working on a glare, so it's hard to see. So this might be really screwing up. This side of the nose has shadow. This comes down. Yeah. I'm not cleaning my brush enough. Sometimes I keep working on something and I really need to clean my brush better or switch up to a different brush. That sometimes is what happens to me. I don't know if you guys suffer from that or not. Yeah, she doesn't look all that great. I know. It's okay though. No panicking. I have promised myself never to panic on a painting. Now, I don't always follow that. I do panic from time to time. And I went quiet again. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I know what you mean, Zen. I mean, I've got, this is one jar of brushes that I have. And that's like my oil and acrylics. Then I've got, they're all my long handles, right? Then I got this one, smaller ones. These are like watercolor. Some of these are my blending brushes, the mops. And then I actually got 3 cups. I got my big stable brushes. These are all my squared off ones for watercolor. Oh, here's what I meant to be. This is, well, shoot, now I know what they are. I was looking for them in all the wrong places, but these are, I forget what they're called, um, but they're plastic. And so you can, on a painting, you can kind of use them to draw in. It's not a brush. Um, they're blenders too. You probably use these in for blending your colored pencils and also for pastels if you use pastels. But yeah, now I remember. Now remember, I found them. I was looking for those, and I got another one I can't reach. But yeah, I got a ton of brushes too. But I end up using filberts in my big brushes, and that's it. All right, let's see about putting some hair back. I think the fact that she doesn't have hair is bothering me on her forehead. Maybe that'll help me feel better about this. Let me get, I don't want, do, I need, what do I need? I need some of these paints that I have. I think it's this burnt umber deep. It dries really matte and it kind of stands out on this canvas. So I don't really want to use a lot of that anymore if I can help it. I'll try this burnt umber too. we'll use Master's Touch and see how that comes across. Interesting. I got Master's Touch Burnt Umber and Blue Ridge Oil Paints. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, definitely the Blue Ridge Oil Paints is definitely very matte finish, where I think the Master's Touch is a little more gloss to it. I'll add a little bit of ultramarine blue just to get it a little darker. I don't really want to use black. It's not my thing. Let's see what that does. Let's see. I'll use a small brush. Picking up a new brush, guys. Picking up a new brush, a smaller brush. Let's see if I can't get this down right. Let's see here. So that curl comes up here. There's a I gotta get a little looser here. A little looser. I know it looks like I'm just painting black, dark on dark, but I need to get that curl to come across here. It also has right around the eye here, stray hair coming out that way. There is some lighter hairs. I'll have to come in with lighter colors later. Nothing like a little glare to mess you up. And I'll have to come in with lighter strokes when this is a little drier. Maybe. Yeah, that swath there looks really weird on the camera. So, trying to get this area here. Of course, I got wet paint I'm trying to paint into. Alla Prima is, I think, a little overrated sometimes. I don't know about what you guys think. You know, and I love doing faces, but sometimes they really get me. They really get me. And so don't think I don't struggle with them. I do. Uh, I keep bouncing around. I got severe glare where I'm trying to paint. Maybe I need to turn this. Oh, no, you guys got glare. I'm gonna switch out my brush. It's too detailed a brush to use thus far. I need to get this blocked in better. Let's see here. Let's back this up. She's already looking different. I don't know if I like what I've done so far with her, but that's okay. I'll get there with her. I will. Okay, well, we're almost to 9:30. Did the president start, you guys? Probably my luck, he started on time. Oftentimes his conferences don't start till a half hour to an hour late. But tonight would be the night he would probably start on time. All right, I'm going to back this up and turn off palette cam for a minute. There we go. So yeah, her face is still in much need of work. And so, but because it's wet, it's smearing. So rather than keep smearing, I'm going to let it sit. And maybe I'll work on the map some, although that's wet from last night. So is a lot of this. I may have to work on this some more, but yeah. So I didn't get as far as I was hoping, but that's okay. Yeah, Nancy getting her hair did. Yeah, well, she needs makeup too. She needs a lot of work, but that's all right. I'll get there. I have to say, I'm really happy with the brick up here. I'm getting there with it down here. I got to do some darker areas like I got up here. I got to do some darker areas there. Um, but, uh, but yeah, I got her arm and hand thinned out a little bit more. So it looks like the driest part is this arm, which is what I've been avoiding. So maybe that's what I work on next in my off time. But uh, but yeah, I'll get there. I just I get I get lost, not lost, but I get bound up in the middle process. The ugly stage. Although I wouldn't call this the ugly stage. I think I think I'm beyond the ugly stage, but it's definitely I don't think I'm 50% there. You're right. Art of Zen, trust the process. I'm working on it. I just wish I were faster. But every time I try to go faster, I end up mucking it up. So I'm trying to balance my desire to go faster with more deliberate approach. And this is what's happening, which is okay. Like I said, I'm not panicked. I just I get frustrated because oil is wonderful and buttery and wonderful as it is. It does take a while to dry, even with a fast drying medium. So, and thanks, Frosty, for saying that it looks good now. But you know how we all are, right? We don't feel like it's there yet, and I certainly don't feel like it's there yet. But that's okay. I'm trying to figure out what I want to get started on the next canvas, whether that's my Admirable Masculinity series next one or another one of this lesser known heroes. I've got a list I'm trying to work from, but I haven't found an image or created an image or a composition that says, wow, that's it. That's the one. Let's paint this. I'm trying to find something. So in the meantime, I got plenty to work on here. Um, and so I appreciate you joining me. So yes, let me recap for potentially next week. Next Wednesday is Christmas Eve. And like I said, my youngest son's going to be down for the week visiting. And he is teaching himself how to draw using pen and ink. I think he likes the not manga. What's the other art form? Manga and I forget what it's called. But anyway, it's the Japanese characters. He likes those. He likes those games. Um, and he's also learning perspective, buildings, perspectives, anime. That's it, anime. Thanks, Crazy Bear. But he's doing a good job. I just don't think he's confident in doing it in front of anyone on a live stream. But who's really all that confident except the people that know what they're doing? And there's a lot of people who know what they're doing. So I don't know. But if we do it, it is only going to be like an hour, and it'll be more like an interview. You get to meet me and my son and see the dynamic, and maybe, like I said, we'll do a doodle of some kind. And I welcome you guys to join in um, if you wanted to. I know Christmas Eve you'll probably be busy with family, and that's okay. Um, I like drawing. I like talking with my son, and I want to brag on him. If I'm going to be honest here, I just want to brag on him. So it'd be cool for you guys to meet him on the live stream. So I'm leaning towards yes, but it also depends upon if he's comfortable enough or not. So we'll see. But there you go. Yeah, take it till you make it, right, artisan? But anywho, uh, so yeah, thanks again for joining me. I'm gonna go ahead and close out the live stream at 9:30 on time. I would hope that you would keep an eye on social media because I'll announce whether we do the live stream next Wednesday or not, uh, and you'll see us either next week or not. We'll see. But of course, you can always catch up with me on social media. I'm online, just not as much lately. Doing a lot. But thanks for joining me. Tune in to the president if he's not already started. And let's hope and pray that as we go into Christmas week, that there'll be peace on earth and goodwill towards all men.